Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do a love oracle for today. Today is Friday. It is August 28th, 2026. You may follow me on the Talk the Tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates. It all might resonate. It might not. Please use your discernment, okay? We're going to use The Price of Love Oracle by Crystal Banner. You can find this at her website, kaleidodope.com. She also has an Etsy shop. Oh, baby. We got two on the table. Okay, that was weird. That was weird. I had like two big bunches of cards. The first one did not fall, so I put it back in. And the second one fell. We got five on the table. We're going to do two more shuffles. Somebody... Okay, first and foremost, I'm going to say this. This is a love oracle. Typically, this is meant to be for lovers, okay? And I've said this before. But if you want to liken this to a friendship, a relationship with a family member, coworker, neighbor, whatever, you can. You can. Typically, when the love card comes out, the soulmate card comes out, sometimes I think that's just meant to show that it's an actual lover situation. But you guys can take from it what you will, okay? Because again, bits and pieces will resonate. Not everything will resonate. Sometimes it will. Sometimes when you watch a reading, you think of a specific person, and that might not be your lover or your past lover. So just take how it resonates for you. Sorry, I'm still sick. But I got some really good sleep last night and this morning, so I feel a lot better. Okay, so somebody has some unfinished business in some type in a relationship, okay? Someone or both people might have felt like that connection was shattered, like severed is actually what I was thinking. But at the heart of this and we even got the connection card on there. At the heart of this connection, I feel like there's patience on both sides. I feel like it's two people that might be in some type of miscommunication, and they both feel like there's unfinished business, and they both feel like they have something to say, but it's almost like they both feel like the other should say something first, and there's patience there. It's like two people patiently know that at some point there's gonna be there's I feel like there's gonna be some type of confrontation, because something is gonna come to like a head. I feel like something's gonna come to a head. let me do the two more shuffles, see what falls out, because I've got another card here, but I don't want to say it until I see what else is here. Oh, I'm gonna have to say something I don't want to say. We got six on the table. Last shuffle. Okay. We got seven with bottom of the deck. Bottom of the deck is separation, which I feel is like what's happening here. Top of the deck is trapped. I think two people are trapped in their own heads, if that makes sense. Let me show you what we got. Forgiveness. Shattered. Patience. Connection. Unfinished business. We got codependency. We're going to talk about this for a second because I got something to say. And we got sparks, bottom of the deck. Feminine, masculine, it doesn't matter. The sparks, yeah, it could be a lover situation. Two people that, they've always had that spark, right? It could be two friends, There are friends out there that get along so well. They're like sisters, they're like brothers, That's a spark. Again, take how it resonates for you. This codependency that came out. Okay, this codependency. Let's talk about this for a second. One or both people could be codependent. Now, if you tell me I'm not codependent, okay, fine. I believe you. I always say that I'm not codependent, that I don't feel like I put off those tendencies, right? Here's the thing. And I don't think we talk about this enough. So let's talk about this, cuz I don't even know that I've ever talked about this, but now I feel the need to talk about it, okay? Codependency. So, let's say you're in a situation and someone is codependent, but you're not. That doesn't mean that that other person who's codependent doesn't feel like you're codependent, doesn't feel like they're getting a certain type of vibe off of you, whether it's misguided or not. And I'm just going to say this because I'm on my healing journey just like everybody else, right? I've told you guys, we're all human. We're all out here healing, birth to death. It's never going to end. The better you heal, the more enlightened you become. The more enlightened you become, the more you understand everybody is a little bit of everything. Everybody's a little bit narcissistic. Everybody's a little bit codependent. Everybody's a little bit this, that, and the other, right? People that have real fucking problems can't recognize that. I call it absolute denial. I call it absolute denial of humanity. Because you should know as a human that humans aren't perfect. And that there's a little bit of everything in there, Like I've said before, like everybody gets depression. Everybody has a little bit of mental illness in there. We're humans living on this plane, but with technically souls that are spiritual beings. So it only makes sense. We're all, I want to say encompassing. I don't even know if that's a word. I don't even know if that's the right context. Remember, I have a cold, so. Anyway, anywho, somebody could be codependent and believe you to be codependent or feel like they're getting a vibe off of you. And maybe they are, and that's okay. Maybe they are, that's okay. Again, you're human. We're human. Things happen. You could literally give off a little codependent vibe with one person in one situation and then never give off that vibe ever again in your whole life. I also think it depends on the person. I think it depends on the relationship and the situation. Because like I just said, somebody could be completely codependent with another person, and then when they get out of whatever that relationship is and they're healing, they're never codependent with someone ever again. It could just be the connection, the two souls. Like that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just because let me put it to you like this. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you, and I'm going to throw myself on the stake. How's that? I'm going to throw myself on the fire. Throw myself on the stake. I was thinking like an actual stake in the ground. Like, okay, anyway. I'm throwing myself on the fire. Okay, the guy that I was friends with benefits with in 2023 after my divorce, okay? We were together like 5 months. We were friends with benefits. It's not that I never had thoughts about him in regards to a relationship, but I've told you guys before, when I get into a situation with somebody and it is clearly defined and we're like, okay, we're casual, okay, we're friends with benefits, no, we're dating, no, we're exclusive. Okay, like then that's the boundary and that's what the relationship is. When we say we're friends with benefits, I literally just look at you as dick or pussy. Like I don't look at you, and I'm not saying that I don't recognize you as a human, but I don't look at you as somebody I'm getting into an actual relationship with. I've always been like that. I can, like, you want to say you just want to, okay, then fine. We're just friends with benefits, and that's it. And it's not that I don't have any feeling for them. I just don't have, like, like, oh, I'm going to fall in love with you, and we're going to get married, and we're going to have kids. No, it doesn't enter into it. That's not part of the deal. I know that. I can differentiate those feelings, those situations, okay? Some people cannot. They say they can, but they cannot. So here's the thing. When he came back last year, he came back in January. Um we talked for like 3 months. January, February. We talked for like 2 or 3 months. He got mad at me because I said something about him and his girlfriend. It was stupid. I just mentioned something about like him planning for his anniversary and he got mad about it. Okay, whatever. Your relationship, not my problem. So we stopped talking. He reached out to me again in September. I literally had just broken up with the guy I dated for 3 weeks, right? We reconnected for about 3 or 4 weeks. We had sex 2 or 3 times. There was no definitive, like, this is what our relationship is. We're friends with benefits. We're casual. We're coming together to see if this is going to work. I'm going to leave my girlfriend. I want to be with you. There was nothing said about anything. It was very like faint lines, right? Like what is this? And I, even though I didn't put my feeling into him, right? Like I wasn't falling in love with him or anything like that. However, I did tell him, like, I'm not interested in a one night stand. I'm not interested in being your side piece. I'm not interested, like, if I'm gonna have an ongoing sexual relationship with somebody, this is going to be a real connection. This is going to be a real relationship. I'm not just gonna sleep with somebody and keep sleeping with them and it's going nowhere. That's not what I'm up for. And I told him that. In one ear and out the other. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I allowed that to go on for like three-ish weeks. Again, we slept together like 2 or 3 times. He didn't know what he wanted. When we had our last conversation, and I told him, I think this is, like, this has run its course, whatever this was. Like, already told you I'm not, I'm not going to be your side piece to your little girlfriend in Michigan, who you say you don't even love, you don't even want to be with. Like, I don't know why you're doing that. I don't know why people get into relationships that they say they don't want. And if you do want it, why are you lying and looking for somebody else? Like, it. So I was brutally honest with him at the end in the last conversation. I said, you know, if you're not happy there, you should leave that. For you, not for me. For you. I'm not gonna be your side piece. Like, you have a girlfriend. You've been with her almost 3 years. Go be with her. Well, I think they've been together 2 years at that point. A little over 2 years. This year it's 3 years. It's 3 years this month, actually. It should have already passed. Yeah, it should have already passed. So, how do I say this? I feel like ever since him and I were together in 2023, there was a codependency there. I think in the back of his mind he really liked me. I think we got along really well. I think the sex was good. And I think when he got together with his girlfriend, whenever that was, because I've talked about my theories on that before, um, I don't think it worked out the way that he thought it was going to work out. I don't think the connection worked out the way he thought it was going to work out. But I think because both their families were involved, his kid, her kids, mutual friends, whatever the case, because she was the sister of one of his high school friends, I think. Something, I don't know, some bullshit story he gave me. I don't even know if it's true, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I think he's afraid to leave. I think he's afraid to be like, okay, this is done, it's over. Like, I also think there's a part of him that's codependent and he just doesn't want to be single. He wants to always be in a relationship, right? And I'm just not like that. But the last time we were together last year, I think, and I can be brutally honest, you guys, I think I gave him a codependent vibe. Only because I had told him that in the past, like, even when we were just friends with benefits, I had had thoughts in my head about like actually turning that into a relationship, maybe getting married down the road, moving in together, something like that. And I think he thought that that meant that I was hooked. When we started talking again last September, I think he thought that that meant that I was hooked and that like I was just goo goo gaga over him secretly and I was keeping it to myself. And he's thinking like, oh, I can use this to my advantage. I can play her like a fiddle. The thing was that at the end of the day, like, just because I had those thoughts doesn't really necessarily make me a codependent. It just, you know, like I had those thoughts, like they were there. When he and I had that last conversation, because I wanted to get together and he didn't have the time. And that's how it was when we were with friends with benefits. He never wanted to meet up, but then he always complained that we never had sex. I'm like, you can't have sex with somebody that you don't want to meet halfway, even in just a friends with benefits. So in that last conversation, I just said, like, this isn't going to work for me. Like, I'm not the side piece. I'm not going to play second fiddle to someone else. Like, you need to figure out what you want. And I really think he thought, like, because I talked to him in January, February, because I talked to him again in September. I think he thought I was codependent. No, I gave you a couple chances. And I've told you guys this before. If you follow, you subscribe. I give 2, 3 chances to people, friends, family, lovers. And when it's done and I can see it's done, like I'm done. So he reached out to me again just this past January 2026. I didn't respond. Nor will I ever. Like last year in September, well, technically it was October when we broke it off. When I broke it off, that was it for me. Like you had your chances, guy. You had your chances. You not knowing what you want, not my problem. You know? So I think sometimes, and what I'm saying is I think sometimes people see a codependency in us, whether we like to admit it's there or not. And yeah, you could say that some of the things I said or I did in the past, yeah, it could come off as codependent. But at the end of the day, I personally, I have no problem cutting shit off. Like when I give it 2, 3 chances and then I realize something's done, I cut that shit off. I have never had a problem doing that, ever. The only person I ever really went back to and would keep going back to was the ex best friend. Anybody else in my life, it's done. It's finito. Bye. Sayonara. See you in the next lifetime. Because I don't have time for bullshit. And I'm really not codependent at all. I mean, just the way I was raised, just the fact that I always had to take care of myself. When I was younger, I had to take care of my brother. My parents were always at work. I had an mentally unstable parent. I literally, before I came on to do this reading, I was watching TikTok and there was a video that a woman did about her mom calling her from the hospital saying, "Can you come pick me up?" So she went to pick up her mom at the hospital and she's like, "Mom, why didn't you call dad?" And the mom's like, "Because you answer and he doesn't." Man, that got me in fucking tears, y'all. That it was like one of those little scroll things where they wrote like a story. That thing got me in tears. And it made me think. I'm not going to lie, it made me think like I don't really have anybody to call. My dad, I use him as my emergency contact, but he doesn't always answer. He's 70. He's asleep half the time. You know? Like it really got me thinking like I don't have an emergency contact, not really. And then I thought about it. I said, "Have I ever had an emergency contact?" And don't get me wrong, as a kid, I mean, even though one of my parents was unstable, that doesn't mean that when the school didn't call, they didn't go, right? Like, you know. But what I'm saying is, there was never any really solid foundation for me, even as a kid. There was really never absolute stability as a kid, right? As there should be. Because you're a kid. Your parents brought you into this world. They should take care of you. They should love you. They should support you. They should be your emergency contact, right? I never really had that. I never really had that solid foundation. I never really felt like I was walking on solid ground. I felt like I was walking on quicksand. And I felt like that my whole life. As an adult, you get used to it and you realize how to navigate situations and relationships so that when you feel the ground fall out from beneath you, you know what to grab onto, to hold on to survive. People that have never been in situations like that have no fucking idea, right? But anywho, codependency. People will think people are codependent for one thing or another, and they're just not. So I don't want people to be offended when I say somebody sees codependency in you, because everybody gives off a little bit of codependency. Let's just be honest. I just spent the last 12 minutes talking about this shit. There's forgiveness here. Like I said, there needs to be some patience here because two people are going to come back around and have something to say to each other. And I think it's going to get to one of those like showdown moments where something's going to happen and one of the people's going to be like, "Excuse me, what? Can we talk? Like, is it time now? Like, can we talk?" Not that you ever didn't want to talk, but somebody's finally going to come forward and be like, "Okay, like we need to talk. Like something needs to be said." And I think there's going to be forgiveness in a situation on both sides for both people. Again, take how it resonates because this doesn't necessarily have to be a lover situation, but most definitely can be. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I spent way too much time on this already with my jibber jabber. But hopefully you enjoyed the jibber jabber. I hope it resonates for somebody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, if anything, you were entertained. I hope you all have a fabulous Friday, a wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you later. Bye.